Alright, it's the next day after I filmed the reveal of bus 44. It was nice. It was a nice evening and everything. The boys had soccer practice. It was a Friday evening. So once they got home, we was going to go run the buses. Or Dad and Mom was wanting to run this one especially. So they took it, and I decided to take mine and follow them because I was kind of wanting to run them together. And then, you know, that way if something happened to one or the other one, we'd have a backup plan. Wouldn't be stranded. Well, it was a good thing we did that. So we left out. This bus was running good and everything, and it'd run good bringing it home. There'd been no signs of anything being wrong with it. Well, got out on Route 72, going towards Longs Fork, and I noticed Dad just kind of pulled off the road, and I thought, uh-oh, what's going on? You know, and its bus had started slowing down. Well, we stopped there, and he said, well, it's, it just kind of flattened out, didn't have any power. He said, I'm going to try it on out the road just a little bit farther, because after he stopped, it was idling pretty smooth and everything, and you could rev it up, and it sounded good when you'd rev it up. So we proceeded to go on out the road, made it out to the old Longs Fork School. He pulled in there, it had started doing it again, and we decided to turn around and head back home. Well, from there, all the way back to Benny Vanover's store, it ran perfect. So he pulled off there at Benny's, and he said, you know, hang on, that's him calling. I'll get back to this. Okay, back to the story. That was Dad calling. He'd went to get a fuel filter for this and asking a question. But I think we stopped at Benny Vanover's. So we stopped at Benny Vanover's. Mom gets out, comes back, and she says, you know, it's running perfect. Y'all want to turn around and try to head back? I said, nah. I said, I think we probably should go on home and just, you know, just to be safe. And we'll check everything out good once we get it home. So we headed on home. We got to the bottom of the hill there where you turn up Rock House, and he pulls off the side of the road in kind of a bad spot in the edge of a driveway. And I went on around him, went on up to the next little wide spot there at the house, and parked and went back down to see what was going on, and it had totally quit. So what I figured it was probably was algae or, you know, junk in the tank where that the bus had been parked so long and had the fuel run out of it. So what we did, we jerked this little pre-screen filter off, and it was absolutely caked with like algae stuff that had sucked around it. I mean, it's thick. So I wiped that off best I could with a rag. I didn't have any cleaner or anything to clean it with, but I wiped it off best I could with a rag. Put it back on there. Of course, it had run itself out of fuel. Wasn't sure how to prime this motor, if you even have to, or anything. I saw this little lever and wasn't sure what it was, so I turned it. Thought, you know, maybe you might turn it and it would be a plunger or something. But anyway, it ends up that is the water and fuel drain, which makes sense because of this line here. It drains the fuel out of the water off the bottom of the fuel filter. Well, anyways, I did that, turned it back, and it was spraying fuel out right here real bad. So I didn't know what to do. I thought I'd broke something. We took my bus, headed on home, and got to White International, took it back down there with the chain, pulled this bus up there into a little better place where we could work on it. And we got up there. Of course, it was dark at this time and getting pretty late. So we got to kind of fooling with it some more because I didn't want to leave it down there or have to have it towed or anything. So I fooled with that lever a little bit more. We looked it up in the book, found out what it said, what positions it should be on, and all that type of stuff. Still don't know. I still don't think it should have been spraying fuel. I don't know what caused that unless it had something in there blocking it off or something. I did take a screwdriver and kind of push that little handle back down and maybe needed seated back for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what happened. May have just been help from the old man upstairs, is all I can figure, really, honestly. Because it was pouring the fuel out around that little stem. But anyways, we fooled with that stem some. Got it positioned back where we thought. Dad tried it. It wasn't spraying fuel. So he cranked on it a little bit there, and I heard it hit a little bit. And I said, keep trying it. So he kept cranking on it, and finally it fired right up. And run good coming on home. So I'm pretty sure the issue is just the fuel. Well, I know it is. I know it is. I don't know what to do about it. We're going to try some fuel treatment and things in it. I'm going to change the big fuel filter. I'm going to take that pre-filter back off, wash it out real good, and we'll just probably have to repeat that process several times and keep it till we get, you know, pretty much cleaned out of the tank. But hopefully that fuel treatment will help. You just never know when you buy stuff. You know, you just don't know. And it's not really a mechanical issue. It's just the fuel. And it's plumb full of fuel. 60 gallons worth, probably. Alright, we're working on the T444E bus. Mom and Dad's. This is the little pre-filter screen that was so stopped up last night. You got the housing and then the screen, and this thing was huge. It was that big around with gunk on it. So I'm gonna clean that out real good. Then we've got the regular fuel filter that I need to change. And hopefully we got the right one. And it's definitely ready to be changed. I think before I put the new one in, I'm going to climb up here and look down in that housing. I don't see any big particles or nothing down in there, so make sure that O-ring is setting down in the groove good. And I didn't bring my screwdriver back up here. But this is working. All right. Dad bought some of this clear diesel. It's removes water and slime to prevent fuel filter failures. So we'll put a little of that in there and hopefully it'll says that treats up to 100 gallons. It's got about 60 gallons. I don't know whether, I think I'll just put it all in there. How many rides you got there? 3. Alright, we'll try firing it up. It'll probably be a little bit hard to start. And right now. Maybe not. Alright, now that we got that done, I'm going to go through and grease it good and get that took care of. Then I'm going to check the oil. It should be okay. And might air up the tires for him. Then I'm going to pull it out and I might bring mine in and change engine oil in it. Now I got the oil draining on 71 here. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get in there to get that oil filter without getting oil all over me and everything else. That's tight. Oh my goodness. Oh. Haven't got it to move yet. Might have to get a power handle. I finally got that filter off. I had to get in there, lay down, change positions, and put my feet against the axle and push and pull, and took every ounce of mojo I had to get that thing off. Whew-wee. Like I said, it'd been on there since 2017. Oh my goodness. Rough. I'm gonna get this new filter on. It's a nice little small filter in it. But I'm gonna pre-fill it with oil most of the way full because it's the biggest filter as that is. And get it slapped back on there. All right, we'll crank it up and check for leaks. And then refill it if need be. Add to whatever you want to say. Hey, this is exactly a week later from when the last part of what you saw on the video. And I noticed my thermostat around the housing was getting wet. Not so much when I was running it, but when it was parked and after it had cooled down. So I pulled it out, and that little O-ring around there was pretty bad shape. It had pretty well hardened up and flattened out, and I'm sure that's where it was leaking, and had quite a bit of rust around here were the hose clamps. So I decided to go ahead and change the thermostat and a new O-ring and everything while I was into it. And I'm going to save my old thermostat, and just in case, I ever need it. The thing will only go one direction, the way it's shaped. I always hate messing with anything related to the coolant system, because sometimes it's hard to get everything sealed up good. But this is a good setup on this thermostat. It's easy. Easy to get to. Easy to change. Nothing has to be removed from the engine, or no housings or anything. Because your thermostat is your connection for your upper radiator hose. The actual thermostat itself is. This is a 190 thermostat. The other one, the original, was a 180. Hopefully that won't cause any issues. Shouldn't. Get the rust cleaned out of the end of the hose before we clamp it back. And get my clamp positioned back pretty much where it was, in the same position. And I'm gonna have to get a different wrench and tighten that clamp up. So I'll check back with you after I get that done. I drained my coolant into this old cutting oil jug. That's what I've been using it for. I keep it around for that so I can reuse it. And this has the extended life coolant that you don't have to add any SCAs or DCAs to your treatment additives. I'm just going to set the cap on there. I'm not going to tighten it down and let it heat up a little while. Well, I've got it out here warming up. Trying to get the thermostat to open up. It's right within a few degrees of opening. Should be. I'm gonna be able to get it hot enough to open up. It's kind of sitting right about the same place. It's maybe warmed up a few degrees from what it was. Yeah, I'd say it'll open up here pretty soon. But one way you can assure that it has opened, most likely your coolant and your puke tank will drop and your top of your radiator will get hot. Like right now, or just, you know, when I checked it a few minutes ago, it was starting to get a little warm, but it wasn't hot yet. It was still, you could pretty well touch it and hold your hand on it. So once that thermostat opens, it lets that coolant up through that upper radiator hose and into the radiator on top. Getting it out and running it would have got it to temperature quicker, but I'm trying to keep the cap off. I don't know what the proper way to do this is, but trying to leave the cap off, that way the air can escape easy and not make such a mess, and then we can refill it. once that thermostat opens, it should make the coolant level drop. Like in the puke tank, I've got it to 4 right now. So hopefully here in the next 5 minutes or so, it'll do that. I ended up having to run it up the road to get the thermostat to open up, but I don't see any sign of leaks there. Got it, right there's the max fill mark. I got it filled back to right here. It took everything, of course, like it should, that I drained out to go back in it. I thought it might take a little bit more because there was a little bit come out of that upper radiator hose after I took it off, and then I changed the coolant filter. Lost a little bit there, which I think it was a little bit higher at that point, but I'm gonna leave it like that for right now. It's got plenty in it, and see how that goes. But little bits at a time, some preventative maintenance items, and it's coming together. But this'll end the video. If you will, please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you like these old Internationals and the buses and the trucks and things, there's, you know, we do a lot of that too, along with the tractor stuff. Kind of wished I'd name my channel something a little different now that I've kind of seen what I'm doing and expanded and all that, but it is what it is. So, appreciate all of you, and we'll catch you later.